things that we want. Why do you keep coming back? I want love you don't know. So why are you here? Yeah, I should take it back so that you don't know where my heart is at. Don't want you to know. My love is lost. Oh, well, there's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking, wanting you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back, just say I'll say goodbye. Yeah, don't call me back, just say goodbye. I can't change the past, don't wanna complicate things. Maybe if I asked, was any of it real? Was it real? Oh, there's only one thing left to do. My heart is breaking on you, so I'll say goodbye. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back, just say I'll say goodbye. Tired of crying, don't call me back, just say goodbye. There's only one thing. Let's put the sun back in the sky. Tired of crying, don't call me back, just say I'll say goodbye.
to TNJ Radio Show.
What's going on?
What's good, my man?
Oh, everything. Let me get that out the screen. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, man. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Turkey Day is here.
Yeah. My wife in there cooking it up. Smell the cakes and the pies.
Yeah, man, I smell it too. Why don't you book me a ticket to fly down there and get some of that good food?
Oh, man, I know the Thomas household. I know how y'all do. So you don't have to worry about that, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna be eating a little bit of broccoli, some carrots, that good stuff.
You make this shit up.
I don't know what you
You can't make this shit up.
This dude lying like a mug. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here with that.
We're gonna be. You ever see that episode of Simpsons when Homer Simpson? I think it was a dream. He was in like a donut land, just dancing around and stuff. And he, but yeah, that's how it'll be. I'll eat the little donut dog that be barking.
Man, what time y'all gonna be eating? What time? You got the whole family coming, or?
Well, you know how I mean, it's mostly like my household, couple friends, but I know that most Black folks on Thanksgiving they have their dinner together like 1:00. But we going on traditional time over here, 6:30.
Nigga time, huh? Black people time.
Kind of the opposite. Everywhere else I've been, they usually have dinner early, and everybody be kind of chilling the rest of the day.
So what y'all do during the day? Like, describe this to the public. What do y'all do during the day?
Well, let me start with what's not going to go on. Okay, none of that. I'm not playing old man football for you guys that want to actually do it. Go out and do it. Make sure you got your health insurance. Make sure you got some of that some Rogaine, something, because you won't be hurting.
Hey, when the last time you played the Turkey Bowl?
Oh man, it maybe like 10 years ago. I remember, there's a park for those who aren't in Pittsburgh, Frick Park, and up top they have like a real big area. It was an interesting time.
Now, did you call off the next day? did you have to use some icy hot?
Oh no! What I did was I just did automatic QB. See, in each sport, there's always something where you can do that. Football, there's automatic QB. Basketball, you can just be the fat dude to shoot all the threes and stuff like that. Don't do nothing else. I'm only at the key. That's it.
So I'm pretty sure you wasn't. Or was you the QB for both teams, or just one team?
I think just one team. I don't know. It was so long ago.
Okay. So if it was one team, you probably had no accuracy. You lost, huh?
Well, here's the thing. I ain't got no accuracy. In fact, it's probably both teams because now I'm starting to get memories of people complaining and stuff like that. Hey, like Uncle Bill, we'll just play 4-on-5.
He was open, huh?
Oh
man, but I haven't played football since 2003. I was out there getting into it. I remember I got a pick 6. But I don't play tackle though. It was like tag. I don't know how those dudes be playing tackle and you got to work the next day. Yeah. I'm like, what is wrong with you, bro? And they be ready for this too. They be hoodied out, jogging pants, cleats. I'm like, dude, man, come on, that ain't that serious.
Yeah, but yeah, people their turkey bowls serious. When you talk about Thanksgiving, there's a couple things that are a given. There's going to be some turkey bowl, and there's going to be a couple fires. Somebody going to try to fry the turkey in the house and not do it right.
Well, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus because that's what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. So, you know, um, shout out to my in-laws because they was here last year and they fried the turkey. No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. We went to Ohio last year, but man, they fried that turkey. Man, I can't go back. Man, shout out to them. I can't go back to nothing but fried turkey now, man.
I am jealous, man. I still haven't gotten a chance to try it. I hit up Popeyes because people were telling me like, well, they got fried turkeys. I called them. They were like, we don't have fried turkeys. They're just Cajun. Like I can do that myself. I could, you just inject it.
Right. Yeah, man. This
They
is the
want
first.
$50 for a turkey.
I wish somebody could fry my turkeys. They can have a business out here. They could just fry turkeys, man. I'll buy one. I won't have to do that. Shout out to Marlene on the check-in, watching us. Yeah, we frying that turkey tomorrow, man.
Now, you doing it indoors or outdoors?
Heck no. Nah, in the middle of my yard, away from the crib. No, ain't gonna be that kind of party. I'm gonna have a fire extinguisher right there too. I'm gonna play some music in the back, and but I think it takes 3 pounds, 3 minutes per pound. So it should take like an hour.
Oh, okay. Y'all got a big boy.
Yeah. And so I'm excited about it. Usually, since we moved down south, my wife's family would come down here, and this is the first time they didn't come, for whatever reason. But yeah, so it's gonna be us, just the kids and the wife. So it should be fun.
Yeah, that should be a good time, man.
I don't want to cook on Jamaican time though, because like if you go there, man, they don't eat till like 9 o'clock. Man, you got to hit the drive-through, man.
Well, when you working all them jobs, the Jamaicans they keep like 15 jobs on hand.
No, it ain't like that though. They just be spending time with each other, and time just get away. But
yeah.
I be the one up there complaining, like, man, please somebody feed me up in here. But it's all good.
They damn over there, talking. Let me stop for.
No, that was not Jamaican, bro. That was not Patrol. That sounded like he was from South. That sounded like somebody from South Georgia. Yeah, man. So what we talking about today?
We're gonna be well. Let me tell you real quick what we not gonna be talking about. Real quick. This guy here, Kyle Rob the Scribe. I don't know what he talking about. He talking about chitlins, but
yo, you eat chitlins?
Yeah, I'm like that's pig dookie tunnels, So. I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with that guy, but it's traditions, things passed down.
Man, my mom used to make those. Man, that house used to be banging. But they be tearing it up with some hot sauce. Look, put a 1 in the comments if you eat chitlins. No, But anyway, for the people on right now, if you're new to us, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so you can see when our videos are coming out. Full show. Before we get into it, definitely wanted to play one of our sponsors on here. 1 second, while you get ready to bless us with the topics.
Yep.
All right. Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com. Yeah, and we're back.
All right, but man, there been so much legal stuff going on. Everybody attorney right now.
Facts.
Everybody. And so that's what we're going to pretty much talk about right now, because it's going towards the end of the year. Seems like this time of year is where a lot of hot lawsuits usually happen. I don't know if the attorneys got to make their Christmas money. That's when the court hearings be. But there's a lot going on right now. So today we're going to be going into. We want to know your thoughts on the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict case. We also want to know your thoughts on the Amaud Arbery verdict. And we know that Amaud Arbery's not on trial, but just to give justice to his name and for people to keep it visible as far as what happened, we chose to put it that way.
Right.
Oh man, this is Ghislaine. I don't even know how to say her name. Ghislaine Maxwell. Will she make it? That's the fact.
Man, look, right now they gave her a number 4 at Popeyes with the butter biscuits, and she gonna be telling. Man, they better have security around her, because these politicians, these elites. I saw a video with Donald Trump out there with him talking in his ear, and then he goes back and start dancing with all the white bunnies.
For those who don't
Bill
know,
Clinton.
Yeah. Ghislaine I don't know why that name's so hard for me, but Ghislaine Maxwell. She is the former girlfriend and associate of Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, I'm looking for. Why don't they have that case on TV? I want to watch that one.
I don't know. I mean, we know that obviously murder is definitely important, but that this has to do with in regards to sexual assault, and especially amongst kids. Sex trafficking. This is huge, and this should actually be front page, and it makes you wonder, why exactly. So we'll definitely get into that, and we also we talked a little bit about Thanksgiving, but we know that it's Thanksgiving at your neck of the woods. We want to know what does your family do that's different from everyone else. Also, going on in the world, we know that President Joe Biden is using the oil reserves. So interesting times. Yep. So
you remember when everybody was saying there was memes going around saying the turkeys was like $200? I guess that was fake, huh? Fake news.
Fake news. Maybe the grocery stores put that out. Because you figure it could be like a reverse psychology type of thing. You think they're 200, that way you're like, oh man, that means there's only a couple of them. So you get there and you're like, oh, $30. I'm good.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting Cornish hens when I saw that thing. I was like, oh, maybe we get 2 for 1 of those Cornish hens or something, man. Because I ain't a really fan of turkey anyway, like that. Paying all that damn money, Let me see.
I was about to be down on the farm like Bob Evans. Go raise some like hey, how much is it for those chickens over there?
I can't make this up right here, man.
You can't make this shit up.
I don't know.
You can't make this shit up.
Your boy Kyle messing around with chitlins in his household. His house smelling like intestines.
Oh man, I don't get it. I really don't.
They be slurping it up too. They be up there with this. They be like chilling juice on their chin. Like, I can't do it. But shout out to my mom. She makes the best stuffing. We got a little family recipe that I'm actually gonna hit her up in the morning. She go like, you ain't hit me up all week, but now you want to call me when you trying to cook. Man, that's what I do.
What are you going to do if you find out that one of the secret ingredients was chitlin juice?
I'd be like Ace Ventura when he found out that dude was a dude. I'd be in the shower like, oh. Oh man, I can't. Well, I got my A hat on, Atlanta, man. Cause shout out to Arbery, his family for getting some justice. Man, I was watching that heavy, watching that. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, because I'm gonna say my views a little bit later, but a lot of people was going in on that Cal Rittenhouse verdict, and there was a lot of people who thought they were attorneys, and I thought differently on this topic. But as far as the Arbery, I think universal, everybody knew that was murder. You know what I mean? I don't care what he was doing out there. That was you hunted him down.
Right. Yeah, the man over, he running, and you got guys in trucks and stuff like that. Like, come on,
man, come on, dog. And I see the dude try to clean up, trying to make it look like he's not a redneck in the court. But man, all them charges, they was like guilty, man. So shout out to the family, man. That's horrible. They had that on video too. What do you think about that? When people try to like, you had Zimmerman, and they're trying to do like citizens arrest. How do you feel about that?
So my thought behind that is, first I wonder what is the whole history behind the citizens arrest, thing in the first place. Because, I can only see a certain amount of things where it actually makes sense, but I don't think that, outside of any, real danger that should be done. So a citizen's arrest, this is just the Will Thomas opinion. When I'm thinking of that is like someone's out there running around, I don't know, trying to hurt people or whatever. And, maybe in that situation, but you have to keep in mind, you are still not the police. So even if the law says that you can do a citizen's arrest, you attempting to do it, it's like you have to do it right. And if you're not the police, you're still putting yourself in harm's way. So
okay, because I mean, if you look at Cal's situation and you look at those rednecks in Georgia, what's the difference? Because Cal came out there, not described. We ain't talking about Chief Cal. I guess we could say, what's his name? Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
He went out there in the sense of trying to do some citizens arrest, and he had a gun. He trying to protect the community. That's what the same thing that the people who killed Arbery was doing. They were trying to. I mean, that was their defense. They're trying to protect their community. They said there was people in the neighborhood stealing, and they said it was him and then they had video of Arbery going in there multiple times into these abandoned warehouses. So what would you say would be the difference?
I would say a difference is offense versus defense. The equivalent of the Cal Rittenhouse situation would be if those guys had said that these places have been burglarized, the police aren't doing anything, we're going to just stand guard outside of them. But in that situation was more so they're chasing them down, so they can't. They kind of, it's kind of like what they say, what the defense was saying in regards to the Rittenhouse case, except they weren't necessarily in a crime until the crime happened, but they were, moving towards it. So it makes it harder for a self-defense case when you're actually moving towards the problem.
Okay, so one of the guys, I think, I'm not too sure if anybody can excuse me, correct me on the messages or whatever, but wasn't one of those guys a former cop?
Yeah, I think it was the
older man.
Yeah, the older man, which I mean, I don't remember if I think that he might have been the one that shot the gun.
I think it was a young kid, but I'm
It
not
was the
totally sure.
son.
I think so.
Because the guy who that was filming, that he wasn't related. He was just a neighbor.
Mm-hmm. He got charged too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he got charged.
which I was surprised about that, because it brings an interesting thing. You know, we're in 2021, and obviously he wasn't there to help Amaud at all, but it just makes me wonder in regards to the laws in regards to filming, and what is your duty to actually intercede.
Right. Excuse me for fixing my throat, but I've been fighting a cold all week. So, but anyway, yeah, man. So justice was served on that one. I love it. Now, what about the Kyle Rittenhouse case? Those the world is divided right now. You have half the population is saying that he's a white supremacist allegedly, and he should be locked up, and then the other half saying, "Thank God for the amendment, Second Amendment rights." What would you say to that? Now, if anybody who want to talk about the subject, definitely go in the comments and click on the link, and you can come on and share your views on that.
Right. And you know, as far as my thoughts, I guess when we start out with it, I think that what ends up happening is that most people, between their life experiences, um, things that they went through, things that they seen, those type of things actually help them to be able to create a lens. And a lot of times we're looking at things, you know, through that lens in life. You know, for example, if you're you know, if you're an atheist, you're going to look at everything through the "there's no God" lens. If you're a Christian, then you're going to look at it through the Christian lens. But if you are a certain type of, you know, whether black or white, if you have certain types of experiences, then you're going to look through that particular lens. The challenge is that the media, they are the best salespeople and marketers in the world. And what I mean by that is that they will give you information. Like, you remember the whistleblower on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Which social media, it's still media. One thing that the whistleblower was talking about is that Facebook can do certain things to kind of feed off of your emotions. And that's ultimately, you know, what the media ends up doing. So they know that certain people think a certain way. So what the media will do is, before all the facts come out, they have to set a narrative. And once that narrative is out, then you know, a lot of people it'll evoke a feeling. And what we know is that you know, a lot of people, they make decisions based off of emotion rather than, you know, just information. You know, and we all do it
Right.
at some point. You know, and I think that that's the starting place, you know, our lens and how we see the world. And then the fact that the media has some of the best marketing, and, you know, they can end up selling you something to where by the time, no matter what ends up happening later, you know, you're kind of sold on it because, you know, let's be honest, most people don't want to be, you know, feel wrong. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes into effect when it comes to the virus. Like, no one's talking about the flu anymore because they're not broadcasting it. You know, so you are right about that. Uh, it's interesting too to me is you don't hear any lawyers talking about this or debunking a lot of the stuff that people are saying on social media. You know, because the most of the time when you hear on social media with the urban community, they're saying, you know, the white supremacy thing. You know, like if he was black, this wouldn't happen. You know, um, now most people, not all, but most people don't know that everything that you put in court has to go. You have to file a motion for everything you put in court, right? But most people don't know that. So when the judge went on there and started basically going after the prosecutor, the prosecutor knows anything he put in additional in court, he has to file a motion before. But the public don't know that. So they're looking at it like, well, the judge is one-sided. You get what I'm saying? But there's a whole procedure that they have to do. And we in the public eye, we won't know that because they're not going to explain that to you. And most of the people that on the liberal media were attorneys. They may not practice in court, but they all are attorneys.
Yeah. Yep.
People don't know that.
And that brings an interesting point. I, as well as you, at some point, we worked, at marketing, worked with different law firms and things like that. And one of the things that is always said is that to the average person, the legal system may not seem logical, but it is legal. And at the end of the day, it's a matter of whether you understand how the legal system ends up working. A couple of weeks ago, President Biden had made a statement. And initially, to be honest, I took offense when he had said that a lot of, blacks are failing in business because they don't have lawyers and accountants. And I don't know where he was coming from, with that. I like I said, I took offense. I took it as he's, being racist or whatever. And maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But what I will say is that after some reflection, I mean, if we're being honest, he's right. A lot of, black people, not all, not only don't use lawyers, but have no idea how the legal system even works.
Yep.
Now, it does end up panning out to all of America, also. But what I noticed that by the numbers, we are, less likely to use lawyers outside of one particular area of law, which is
criminal.
The criminal system. So it's a matter of how you actually use them. You can use them to keep you out of jail, or you can use them to keep your money in your pocket. Different people use lawyers for different reasons. And, I think that that's definitely something worth keeping in mind.
So for the people who don't have representation, we're going to put some information in our comment box. But anyway, now also what I found, because I remember when I was in college, I took a criminology class and all that good stuff, and they made us get a penal code. Now, what I would suggest anybody to do is buy a penal code. Now they get updated every year, but at least you'll know certain laws, what you can do, because it's a book this big, and you can know what the laws in your state is. Because that's another thing. People don't understand that there's different laws for different states. Every state is their own country, And so when people are saying, "Oh, he went across state lines," what are you talking about, man? He lived in both of those areas. And we were talking about this the other day. There's people who live in certain areas. He work in that area. We were talking about that actually last week.
Right.
My kids, they had a residence in Georgia, they had a residence in PA. It's in the court. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think that a lot of people, do forget that, hey, people do live with their fathers, also. Fathers do matter. And to some degree, you can actually end up accidentally acting as if fathers don't matter. But in that situation, he lived with both. Lived with his mom. And it could even be something as far as like you're just with your dad during the summer. That happens. If that is the situation, you live with your father. He was working as a lifeguard. August, it's the summertime. That means he was still working. That's his community.
And here's the thing: it's not odd that the community protect their businesses. When Rodney King got beat on national TV, and I remember there was an Asian store, and there was a teenage African American teenage girl that came in there. She was 16. She got in an argument with the Asian woman, and she turned around and shot her in the head and killed this little girl. They go to trial, and all they did was gave the Asian woman community service. That's what really sparked the riots. It wasn't the fact that Rodney King got beat up. It was the verdict with this little girl. People don't understand, but then all of a sudden, they were rioting, and then the Asians, what they did was because they had one guy who owned a gun store, and he gave all his friends guns, and nobody went on that block. They just anybody came by, they would just start shooting at them. So it's not uncommon that happens. You know what I mean? If you have a police, and another thing, I hear this online all the time when people say, well, they have insurance. And what we like to say in our field is, do you have insurance because you need it, or do you have it because you need it? Meaning, you have it, you don't want to use it because your insurance is going to go up. And there's a lot of people I know who use insurance. They end up losing it because they're using it too much.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it actually happens on something as simple as your cell phone.
Right.
If you use it more than 2 times in a year, you're kicked off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, you think people want to use their insurance? Like, first off, insurance is a big scam anyway. Most insurances, because they don't want you to use it because they're going to lose money. They don't want everybody to use it at once. What if everybody had Geico or something in that area? Oh man, the company going down.
Think about whenever Katrina happened, in New Orleans. All of those people, most of them had insurance. It took a lot of businesses years, and some of them never came back. Ever.
You're right. And what I don't like about it is the media don't talk about is that there was some owners that died protecting their business. There was a black security guard trying to protect a business got killed by a rider, but they won't never introduce that to the public. And what about this? The same day that Kyle Rittenhouse was off, he was acquitted. You brought it to my attention that there was another situation, because this is what everybody was saying. They was like, oh, if this was black, if they were black, the same day this guy shot a police officer for coming in his house, a felon, and he was acquitted, correct?
Yeah. He didn't just shot, he killed a police officer. And he was acquitted. He was so just to kind of paint the picture. He was a felon who had a gun. He was not legally supposed to have the gun at all. So think of that if you were driving, you didn't have a driver's license, your driver's license was suspended, and somebody comes and hits you, or some type of accident happens, it's maybe not your fault. Well, the way that the average person is thinking is that person shouldn't be on the road anyway because they don't have a license. But that's not necessarily how the law actually always works, which is why it's really important regards to what you said earlier. You need to either know the penal codes or you need to have access to a lawyer, one or the other, or both.
Yep. Hey, Kyle, we see you in the queue. Just give us 1 second. And also, a lot of people were saying, I'm pretty sure you heard this. They were like, he shouldn't have had a gun. He was too young. I'm like, first off, in Willam Hills, we had a rifle team, and they were carrying rifles.
This is high school.
High school. We had a rifle team. So what are we talking about here? So anyway, another thing that people don't understand the reason why they had that law in place anyway, where with Kenosha, is because the gang violence in 1991. A lot of these kids, these gang members had sawed-off shotguns, right? So they made a law so the kids could not carry a sawed-off shotgun, but they can carry something longer than that. That was the law that was placed in 1991. So when everybody say, "How did he not get charged for that?" That was the very reason for that situation. You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of hit the main points in regards to it, but at the end of the day, the way that rifle, I think it was 16 inches, which was past the legal minimum of 12 inches. It's there's a lot of things that are ambiguous in regards to it, but it was very clear, and it was to the point to where when it was brought up between the defendant attorney and the prosecutor, they both agreed that it shouldn't be there. And that's why it ended up getting dismissed, because the prosecutor and the defending attorney, once they both looked at the law, they agreed that he didn't break that law.
So to debunk all that from everybody on online, it's just like, man, are you looking at the video? And then also, people didn't even look at the video. Like a lot of people just, like when he was running for his life, they didn't watch it actually. I think they just had a lot of anger. And another thing, how is it white supremacy if he killed 3 white people? He didn't kill any black folks. I don't understand. Like, why are we so invested in this? It was white on white crime, which was they act like it never happened in any way. You know what I mean? And we're just so up in arms as a community, like, oh man, this is hypocrisy. You should have been worried more about the Arbery case, which a lot of people are. That's the victory. God forbid loss of life, but that's put them dudes on notice that you can't do that, because
Right.
a lot of people got excited when they was looking at that Zimmerman case, like, oh yeah, we can if someone stepped to us, we could just shoot them. I mean, even though that was a different state, Florida.
Right. Yeah. Well, not too far down. I think that is right outside of Orlando, so maybe a couple hours away. Well, no, it would probably be like 6 to 8. I keep forgetting that state's so huge.
They need to change that law. Let's get Cal on.
All right. Let's see. Cal robbed the scrap. I don't know if you got a good enough signal, Cal.
I guess we try to get back to him, I guess.
All right, we'll try to get back to you. But yeah, it's interesting, and there's a lot going to it. But what I'm noticing a lot of is that people are trying to inject their feelings into the written law,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just not how it works.
Right.
If you want the laws to be different, you have to go to your legislators. You have to go to your representatives. Because there are bad laws on the book. I definitely agree in regards to that. I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad law, but if you don't like the laws, go to your legislator.
But that's hard to do. Like, you got to go in a group. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go as an individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there is still some laws that's based in slavery. Like, I was reading Will Smith's book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this law in Pennsylvania called the Master Slave Law. So he had a bodyguard. This is around the time of, just to paint the picture, when he was he was performing as Fresh Prince in like '89, and he said somebody tried to jump on stage, and his bodyguard punched him and beat him up. And so the guy pressed charges, and they didn't even arrest the bodyguard; they arrested him.
Mm.
And they said because you're basically, there's a law in there that says slave master. So there are a lot of laws that are very outdated. You know, um, and that's why we say you gotta have an attorney just like you need a doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never heard about that law until you had mentioned it out of Will's book. But wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I think Cal Rob the Scribe is trying again. You got to have a signal. This guy, he still got the
Cricket.
swirly circle.
They still got the cricket out there.
Come on, man. You gonna have to turn that Nokia phone in, man. Time to upgrade. Got to get to the Samsung.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, put him back in the queue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So that maybe, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's interesting. What I want to do real quick, I want to play a video of Kyle Rittenhouse after the verdict. He was interviewed real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and while you're actually putting that on, we're going to take a look at that the video he's going to put on, but I would really suggest that like we all have to learn a lot about these laws and things like that, because there's a lot of changes going on in America. There's a lot of laws changing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, here we go. All right, let me see here.
Should Americans with no degree be allowed to get $38,070 from this government education program?
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. In retrospect, it's remarkable just how dishonest, how thoroughly and intentionally dishonest the media coverage of the Kyle Rittenhouse story turned out to be. All of it was a lie. Rittenhouse was not a white supremacist. He was never in a militia. He never crossed state lines with a firearm. The protest in Kenosha was not peaceful. It was a riot, chaotic and violent. Many of the rioters, by the way, carried guns. Rittenhouse was hardly alone. Rittenhouse didn't go to Kenosha looking for trouble. His father lived there. Rittenhouse himself worked as a lifeguard in Kenosha. On August 25th of last summer, Rittenhouse went downtown to stand guard over a car lot. Here's the context. The night before, police in Kenosha had done nothing as the
was upset seeing my community up in flames.
Yeah, I bet you were. So you're at your friend's house that night. You've come back from working as a lifeguard.
Yes.
And then you decide to go in. First, you're cleaning up graffiti, correct?
Yes. So we say the night I say the night August 24th. We wake up in the morning and we're talking like, let's go help our community. Let's go see what we can do. And we ended up at Rittenhouse Central High School where we were cleaning graffiti for a couple hours. And then we met with the owners of Car Source and we offered to protect their business from fires, making sure the rest of their other two properties didn't get burned down like they did the night prior. And they agreed. We came back. We went back to Dominic's house and hung out there for a little bit. And then we went to Car Source to help protect the property and make sure it didn't set on fire again.
So you get there. What do you see?
When I get there, I see in the beginning, the morning of Rittenhouse Central, I see just spray paint everywhere. I see smoke coming from the Car Source that was burnt down, and it was quite upsetting because that was somebody's business that got destroyed.
Yeah. So you said to the people who own the car lot, I want to protect your cars, and they said, yes, please.
I said, hey, if you, I asked if they needed any help, and they said, yes, if you can.
Where were the police?
I'm not sure really, because they have a hard job.
For sure.
But I didn't really think they got the support they needed. The National Guard should have been called August 23rd, but the city of Kenosha failed the community. The governor failed the community, and there should have been a lot more resources to help with that.
That's for sure. So you've been criticized for carrying a firearm into the scene. but it's obvious from the tape that a lot of people, you were not the only one with a firearm. There were rioters with firearms. Was that obvious to you?
Yes.
So you saw other people with guns?
I did. There was a lot of people on both, like there were rioters with firearms. I remember one very distinctly. Joshua Zeminski was walking around with a pistol in his hand all that night with Joseph Rosenbaum.
Where did you first see Rosenbaum?
The first time I saw Rosenbaum was the first time he threatened to kill me. It was at the corner of the car source lot that I was at primarily that night, and I was asking people if they needed medical, and he came up to me and Ryan Balch, and he said, "If I catch any of you MFers alone, I'm going to effing kill you."
Had you ever seen him before?
I have not.
So you'd never seen this guy. He walks up and threatens to kill you out of nowhere.
Yes. It was quite shocking. I was like, why would somebody threaten to kill me? I'm just asking if people need help on both sides. I was there just to help anybody that needed, and shockingly, the only people I helped that night were rioters.
What kind of sense did you get from Rosenbaum? I mean, that sounds deranged.
When he threatened to kill me, I was like, what the heck just happened? I've never, nobody's ever threatened to kill me up until that point. And I was like, that's not something you say to somebody.
How long after that was it that he tried to grab your rifle?
It was about an hour and a half later. And then there was actually a second time he said to the group, he said, this is the second time he threatened to kill everybody. He said, I'm gonna effing kill you. I'm gonna cut your hearts out, you effing N-words.
Cut your hearts out?
Yes.
Did any of the rioters try and calm him down or stop him?
What I noticed is the rioters were trying to, like, they were like disassociating with him because he was like spewing the N-word around, and they just didn't seem to want to have anything to deal with him, the rioters.
Yeah. So he comes, he tries to grab your rifle, he gets shot. You decide at that point, unless I'm misremembering, you want to go turn yourself into the police.
Yes. After I shoot Mr. Rosenbaum, he tried to grab my gun. I was running away. There was a gunshot behind me. After I shoot him, I run around the car because I was going to go render first aid to him. I wasn't able to because then there was a mob forming and calling for my execution to get him and kill him. And that's when I try to run to the police line and get to the police. And then I am attacked again.
By the guy who kicked you?
By Jump Kick Man, yes.
Whose identity we didn't know. It turns out the prosecution knew it and hid it.
So we found out November 7th, the prosecution, we went into the judge's chambers and the prosecution said, we identified Jump Kick Man, and the prosecution threw a fit a little bit. They didn't want us to interview him. They were like, well, he's a victim, and didn't want my investigators or my attorneys to interview him or ask him questions. They just wanted to do it private, non-recorded. And the judge said, no, it's going to be recorded. And then a couple hours later, they say, oh, he asked for immunity and we're not going to give it to him. So we're not going to be calling him as a witness.
Yeah, well, probably didn't want to talk about his criminal record.
Yeah.
So you're running, trying to get to the police lines. You see the mob coming after you. Let's execute him, they're saying. And then out of nowhere, you get dropped to the ground by the guy who kicks you in the head. Mm-hmm. Did you see him coming?
I did. To backtrack a little bit, actually, as I'm running, Gage Grosskreutz came up to me with his phone and put it in my face. And he said, what are you doing? Did you just shoot that man? And I told him, I'm going to the police. And he said, oh, okay, and ran off.
Hit your mute button. Did you ever watch the interview?
There we go. Yeah, I did watch it. And it's a lot, man. Let me tell you what, that I seen some martial arts, man. That kick, That was clean. I don't know how he did. Like, it looked like he had his hands in his pocket.
Yeah. Great form.
Can you see that, man? Someone got their hands in they pocket and they just hit you with a drop kick, man. That is some beast mode level stuff. We're gonna give you one more try, Cal Rob the Scrap. Let's see. You there?
No, it ain't working.
Oh man. All right, we'll have to, you know.
Get you up on the next show, I guess. Appreciate you checking in.
Yeah, but man.
Well, you know, a lot, when he was saying a lot of people were, you know, there was a lot of memes when he walked by the police and they didn't arrest him. There's like, he did it. He killed somebody. What do you think about that? I have my thoughts on it, but
well, let me see. I know that he was, I don't know. I mean, I know that they were kind of told to, stand back, a little bit. So, at the time, I think I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, can't defend that one. You know, they're sitting there telling the cops that he killed somebody. They ain't joining into and arresting them. So, but that was a crazy time last year, wasn't it? Was it last year? When happened? When did that guy died? Blake did. The guy that they was riding for didn't even die. Blake.
That's another thing of misinformation. They told everybody that he died.
Yeah, he was he tried to steal some kids, and the baby mama called the police, and she said she's trying to hurt us, and he has a weapon, and he did have a weapon. So I don't know, but shout out to the Arbery case. Like I said, that I'm excited about that verdict. Put them people, man, give them the chair, man. I don't even want them to get out. You know, some people. How do you feel about that? Like, there's all these shootings going on. We alluded to it last week with young Dolph, and all these people getting murdered, and then years later they're getting out of prison. You know, what do you think about that? Because in my opinion, I think if you do the crime, if you take a life, you need to stay in there for the rest of your life. I don't know. There should be no redemption because you can't bring this person back anyway. You know, if it's not self-defense.
Yeah, I would say if it's not self-defense and if it's not a situation where maybe it wasn't on purpose, there's a reason, manslaughter, it's there for a reason, but it's, it's terrible that all these things are going on in regards to the guns. One thing I will say about, in fact, I'll go through the different ones with the Rittenhouse situation. I am surprised in the middle of all that madness, a 17-year-old was able to, handle everything like that. Like, I'm surprised he didn't just start blasting off on everyone.
I'm not, because and this is, hold your thought, man. You just brought something up. We could kind of stick it here and talk about it, but all you people out here talking about revolution, I'm talking about like the Umar Johnsons, the Tariq Nasheeds, getting everybody riled up. We as a unit are not ready for a revolution. Most people are still working the job, which they can't even not take the jab because they got to pay their bills. Most people don't have a gun, and if they have a gun, they don't know how to shoot. These kids been learning how to shoot since they was 4 or 5 years old. They out there hunting. They out there. They know how to work a gun. They've been doing this for. You can tell he had training.
Yeah.
Shout out to the one family that you were telling me about, where the father was teaching his young African American daughter how to shoot since he was 4 years old.
Put that on the screen real quick because I did want to. highlight that. I think that that's definitely huge. Let me just enlarge it, real quick. Can you got it on the full screen?
Let me. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I'm gonna just play this real quick. This is two African Americans. Let me move off the thing. Oh, hey, my mind. Don't take it off real quick. I want to show everyone something real quick. Because this is something that's interesting that's been left out by the media. So on here, you'll see a couple of things. It says Joy Reid insisted that any black person carrying an AR-15 in Kenosha would be immediately shot by the police. Okay. This is the Jordans. That's their last name. I'm gonna highlight this right here. It said that they had been protecting a restaurant and two parking lots in the area on the same night that the Rittenhouse shootings took place. Let me repeat that.
You make this shit up.
I don't know.
You can't make this shit up.
We know that, Kevin. We can't make this up. Go ahead.
So on that same night where people claim that, number one, you shouldn't be showing up to a protest or riot or whatever that was with guns. This black father and daughter, they showed up to help protect a restaurant, and I'm assuming that's their community, and two parking lots in their community. So, I don't hear anyone, talking about them. Now, let me just get back over. I think that guy, I think he's just a Second Amendment enthusiast. He said he's been training his daughter on that since she was 4. She wasn't able to actually touch a gun until she was 14. So, and you can see that, man, that young lady look all professional. She got it pointing down, hand out on the trigger, doing the right thing. So, shout out to that black dad.
Yeah, man. Somebody trying to mess with her. You cheat on her, she gonna pop you in the, you know what, right?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Man, that's a dope story, man, because that is what we need to do. Like we're not ready for a revolution. We're not. People, we ain't growing our own food. We don't know how to shoot a gun. Most people don't have one. You so scared of the law. Like the whole reason for that, Second Amendment was for the government. That's why the guy who shot and protected his home, he was acquitted for it. That's why, Soldier Boy, somebody went up in his house, he shot somebody. Gucci Man killed someone, and he's off. The baby, recently, he was in Walmart with his family, and he used his firearm, and he's off. So it does happen. You just have to do it. There's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Don't forget Kenneth Walker. Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. He was able to get away with it also.
Yeah. So like we just have to be smart and we're just not ready, man. Like people talking about the school system. Well, guess what? You have a choice, but you're not ready. You can homeschool your kids, and then you could get a few people in the community to homeschool, and you can start your own school. Where we may be interviewing the guy from Albany, Georgia, coming up. What's his name? King. What's his name?
King Randall.
King Randall, who started his own school. Like we claim we want it, but you don't want it. No one's supporting businesses. We got a media show right now that people are listening to right now, and you would think we let people on here to talk, and we're growing. Thank goodness, we're growing right now, and we're going to allow people to speak. You know what I'm saying? We're going to allow people to get on and say their opinion. You know, we on social media talking all the time. Why not get paid for it? You know, the reason why I started doing that on my sports channel is because I got tired of arguing people for free on social media. I'm tired of that. Like they coming at me too, like crazy. And now I get paid to talk about sports. I ain't have to go to school for it or nothing, or go to ESPN. I get paid for it now. And that's what I'm saying. Like we got to be more proactive about it. Like this is 2021. You can make money doing anything.
Right. And you know what? Because the Second Amendment, it's under attack. If you think that this Kyle Rittenhouse thing was just about so-called white supremacists, you are a fool. The true thing that this was really about,
guns.
It was about the guns, and it was about that particular type of gun.
Yep.
That's what it was really about. So, you know, because they want to use it as a proxy argument against the Second Amendment. And what they do is they'll create these narratives. They'll say, hey, well, what are the things that are going on right now? How are people feeling? We know George Floyd just had this. Jacob Blake just had this going on. Breonna, well, I don't think that actually happened yet. But whatever the case, they know how to feed off of your feelings. So what they ended up doing is saying, we're going to feed off of their feelings. Mm-hmm. But overall, the goal is that those assault weapons, they want to get them off of the market.
Yep. Facts.
Period.
Facts. Wouldn't it be better if someone was coming to your house, if you had one of those guns, you just spray that door up? Like whoever come in, they getting bullet holes in them. You know what I'm saying? The power.
You remember that game Light Bright, where you stick the little pixels in there,
right?
Little holes and stuff like that. That's how someone come to my house, light them up like a Light Bright.
Man. You know, and so anyway, you're totally right. It's not about this. They're just trying to build their case to try to get more power. You don't want the government to get more power. You see what they're doing with the IRS. You know, they're not trying to target the elites who got the money, who have the money. They're trying to target the average person, saying they could check your account if you got $600 or something like that. They were trying to post.
And then they said, all right, we're going to leave the $6,000 or what. They talk to you like you're stupid. This is why it's really important for you to end up learning the law. They're like, oh, all right, don't worry about the $600. We're going to end up just doing $10,000. And you're thinking, like, okay, I don't make $10,000 a month or anything like that. But they're talking about cumulative. People do that off of groceries. Come on. You know. So it's ridiculous. They're going to call you stupid to your face. To your face. And the other thing is that in the big scheme of things, and I know we're wrapping up right now, but also the other part where they're calling you stupid to your face is that they're putting these cases on display. Okay. Kyle Rittenhouse is as the bigger one. Amaud Arbery. You kind of start hearing some things about that, but people, you better pay attention to that Ghislaine Maxwell case, because that is the big one. Obviously, you don't want the loss of lives of anyone. That's definitely a tragedy, but you got to protect these kids and these people. They know that they're on the chopping block. There are people on both sides of the political aisle that are going to end up getting outed. There are people in the media, people in entertainment. Your favorite celebrity is going to probably end up getting outed.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Unless something happens to her. Unfortunately.
Think about it. Why would the guy, what's his name?
Epstein.
Why would you have him in the room in a cell with another killer? Right? They had him in with the guy who was killing people, and he allegedly hung himself. Man, listen. Your favorite rapper gonna be indicted. You know.
It's like Anthony Kennedy said. He said 3 things that don't hang themselves: clothes on the clothing line, Christmas ornaments, and Jeffrey Epstein.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, so we're gonna be wrapping up. Definitely, if you want to support the channel, hit the TNJ Radio on Cash App, and also buy your apparel. We're gonna start putting some Christmas stuff up on there on our website, afjcworldwide.com, and we're actually gonna play a quick video, and then we're gonna be out.
Check out one of our sponsors, afjcworldwide.com. That is afjcworldwide.com for our latest apparel, homeware, and drinkware. Definitely get a shirt for your husband, wife, doesn't matter. Again, check out afjcworldwide.com.
And we want to give a shout out to all the people who trying to still stay woke after all this stuff is going on. You know, shout out to Maxine Waters.
And shout out to the people that's been cooking greens for like 48 hours on that slow simmer.
That's right. That's right.
Man, like some people.
Son, where'd you find this?
They serious about it. 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. They trying to get all that
flavor
out of the meat. Man.
Man. And right now we definitely appreciate y'all because y'all probably drunk right now, you know, getting the party started right now. I know somebody on here getting it in. But appreciate y'all checking in. And you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.
Be safe. Be safe.
We'll see y'all next week. And we appreciate our TNJ Titans, if you will, the fearless ones who's not afraid to speak out. We're trying to build this army, and we appreciate y'all, checking in.
All right, guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving.